Hey everybody, my name is Liam. This is my hobby room. How's it going? How's it going? Everyone doing good? This is our third and final video in our 2024 competition series for Zakuaurelius' Old to Gold contest. Now, in part one of this series, we reviewed the entire kit and we looked at the things we'd like to change about it. And then in part two, we started modifying the joints and extending the proportions. Now, in this video, in part three, we're going to be painting the entire kit and taking a look at the finished result. If you missed part one, I'm going to put it right up here in the little thing that says, there's a video, watch the video. Now, of course, we've been working on the 1995 Wing Gundam from Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. This is the 1:144 scale kit, and this is where we've left off. So this is the kit so far. Now take one last look because we're going to start priming it. Now, just before I start painting, I thought I'd mention I use a lot of custom paint mixtures, and I don't necessarily always have ratios for them because it's just some random custom mixture I made on the fly. However, if I do end up using a color that's straight out of the bottle, I'll be sure to mention it. And the other thing I'll be sure to mention is that you should leave a like on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Liam's Hobby Room, where there's tons of Gundam content here made just for you. Just for you. Now, without any further preamble, let's get priming. I'm going to prime the whole kit in Mr. Surfacer 1500 Black, which is my favorite. I use it all the time, and I'm going to make sure to get in every nook and cranny. It's important to spray the undersides and hidden areas too, on the off chance that they're visible from certain angles. This will help draw the eye to the parts we want the eye to focus on. Next up, I'm priming my yellow parts in pink, which always makes the yellow strong and warm. I'll have to do some masking here, which I never enjoy doing because I find it tedious, but I can't argue with the results. All our white pieces are getting a coat of blue, which is going to give them a nice cool tone. I want to be careful not to overspray here. The coat should fade into the black around the edges, and I find this helps suggest depth no matter what the lighting is. Any frame parts are going to be painted with a gray-violet. They're quite small, so I probably won't be highlighting these much, and I just want to take note of some smaller areas where I may want to go over with this paint again when I'm finished my airbrushing. Now I'm going to use a slightly different gray color for the Buster Rifle because I want it to look like it's made with a different material than the frame parts. To maintain the cool tone of my whole color scheme here, I'm going to be undercoating all the red parts in purple. And then we're going to do a soft red over top of it, and it's my intention that this will come through as a cooler red, not a super vibrant pigmented red. But you could be the judge of that when I'm done. Now we're spraying our main colors, starting with a very thin coat of Mr. Color 69 Off-White. Since my shading was done in cool colors and I primed in black, the base coat's going to be darker and a little more subdued. That's just a personal preference. All the blue parts are getting a light coat of Gundam Color Titan's Blue No. 2, which should fade nicely at the edges into the black primer below. This is one of my favorite colors of all time. While I have the blue parts out, I'll do a gentle highlight in a more pigmented blue, but I'm trying to be pretty conservative with these highlights. I have to be careful when painting with red. It's such a strong color and I don't want to throw off the cool color vibe here, so the purplish layer underneath that gray-violet color we put down before should help with that. Alright, so now that we're done airbrushing our kit, here's the kit, here he is. All airbrushed. There are some things that I prefer to hand paint because you can only do so much masking before your brain, or at least my brain, wants to explode. Because yeah, I was masking and some things turned out a little imperfect like this. And don't get me wrong, imperfections are great. I actually like imperfections. I think they make things a little bit more fun. And some of these can be blended into the rest of the kit with a little bit of weathering and such. We were going to be using some oils for that. I pointed over here because that's vaguely where my oils and stuff are. Before we get there, we are going to do some hand painting, which other people just call painting. But I call it hand painting because we are painting with our hands, or at least by hand. First thing I want to do is just go over some of the parts and put some gray down. And I'm going to be using some water-based acrylic paints, Vallejo, which is really cool. Actually, a fun story that has very little to do with our current video, but one of my mother's friends is from the town where the Vallejo factory is, so that's kind of nice. It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting, right? Now you might be thinking, hold up, Liam, the pieces that you're painting by hand are going to have a very different finish from the pieces that you have airbrushed, and that is exactly true. However, I'm going to be, however, you thought I missed that one, did you? I am going to be keeping the water-based paint to the places that really aren't going to be seen that much. At least not where I intend the eye to focus on. And if in the end you find you do focus on the pieces that have been hand painted and look a little bit different, then I would have failed. But that's okay. You know, what does Yoda say in that movie that Yoda's in? The greatest teacher failure is. That's true. That's true. But you know what else is a great teacher? The books that I learned how to paint from. The MOOCs modeling books. This is also unrelated, but as I am painting this, I'm just thinking about my time in Japan, because that's where I got this. I got this one in Osaka, but man, I'm just really, really missing Hakone. Hakone was just incredible. What an experience. If you can swing it, if you find it possible or doable in your life, and if, you know, being in Japan interests you at all, if you like Japanese food or whatever, if you like gunpla, then you gotta go, man. It's just, what an incredible time. Mrs. Hobby Room and I had the time of our lives, and, you know, I really think we would like to go again. So I'm gonna probably do that next fall. So that's kind of fun. While I'm painting this stuff here, I just want to do a quick check-in. How you guys doing? Is everyone doing okay? Set that aside to dry. You may notice that I'm not being especially careful with my acrylic paint here, and that is because I plan on kind of blending it into the weathering in some areas. Some places I'll clean up, like over here, I'll clean some of these up with alcohol after. I find there are some painting mistakes that you can blend into the finished weathered look of your kit, and there are some that just look like obvious mistakes. And some of these I'm making do kind of look like obvious mistakes, but that's okay. And, you know, now that I'm at this stage and I'm painting this little polycap here, which will just flake, but, you know, I really need this to look good for a couple photos, and then it can go ahead and flake all at once. Now I'm really wishing I just gutted the arm pieces a little bit more, similar to what I did in my Wing Zero video, and just kind of made them out of plastic. It really wouldn't have taken that much more work. Just kind of wishing I had done that. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. You don't figure these things out until way later. Fun. What a fun thing to notice. You know what's nice? I seem to have had just the right amount of coffee today, because I am not shaking too much. Shaking a little bit, but not too much. Man, I love painting tiny things, eh? So satisfying. Can be. It can be. Sometimes. Sometimes it's satisfying. By the way, if you're curious about how I paint my model kits, the actual process, I explain that process in depth in this video up top here. So where is it? Up here. So take a look if you'd like to learn how I paint. Doesn't necessarily mean that's how you have to paint. That's just how I do it. I'll put that link in the description as well. And while you're down there, you can check out the free Liam's Hobby Room Discord. You can join and we can talk about models, because that's what we do there. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice supportive community, and we're all just there to give each other some thumbs up. And there we are. That's the final video in the series. Old to Gold for Zakuaurelius' contest. It was really fun making this kit. I had an absolute blast doing it and showing the modification and all that. I had a lot of learning experiences along the way, so when I make further modification videos, I don't think they'll be quite as rambly. They'll hopefully be a little bit more focused. Now, this was really cool. I don't think I've ever actually entered a Gunpla competition before. I've never really been a competitive person. I like supporting other people, so I kind of go at my own pace, but my own pace is that I like to push myself and always make sure that I'm trying something new or trying to make the best version of what I can do in that moment. Who knows? Maybe this is a healthy outlet for me. So, either way, I'm just really happy to be a part of this competition. I think it's been really fun. There's been a great spirit around it. Everyone seems really excited. And I am super excited to see everyone's finished results. If you're also doing this Old to Gold competition, I hope you want to share your pictures and stuff. You can do so in the Liam's Hobby Room Discord, which is free, or you can just send them my way at Liam's Hobby Room on Instagram. I'd love to take a look at them. If you're in a position to give back to the channel and keep the Liam's Hobby Room lights on, it's happening again. I would be graciously honored if you would consider making a one-time donation on the Ko-fi platform, which is also in the description down below. Every donation goes right back into making sure the channel runs smoothly and when I need supplies or whatever, and just to make sure that I can continue making videos. Either way, your support and your time is so appreciated, and I'm so happy that we can be exploring this hobby together. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care of one another, and I'll see you guys next time on Liam's Hobby Room.